Today we're going to make a coffee chiffon cake with coffee cream and decorate it with cake stencil. Let's get started. First, heat the milk in microwave for 25 seconds, then add the coffee powder and mix well. Mix the oil and flour. This method of first combining the oil and flour is simple and won't develop gluten. You can stir it any way you want and you don't have to sift the flour neither. Then add the coffee milk mixture and egg yolks. Stir until all well combined. Now let's whip the egg whites. Add cream of tartar to the egg whites and beat on high speed. Cream of tartar can stabilize the meringue. If you don't have it, you can add a small teaspoon of lemon juice or vinegar instead. When you see big bubbles forming, add a third of the sugar. Continue to beat on high speed. When the foam becomes finer and silkier, you can add another third of the sugar. Continue to beat at high speed. The foam will continue to get silkier, and the whites will be starting to hold the trail of the whisk. At this point, you can add the remaining sugar and beat on medium-high speed. Continue beating until you see some stiff peaks. After lifting the whisk, the meringue is stable and firm and the peak will not drip. Scoop about 1/3 of the egg whites to the batter and fold it in gently. This is to lighten the batter initially and prepare it for the rest of the egg whites. Once it's mixed well, change to a spatula and pour it into the egg whites. Continue to fold gently until it's all combined. Repeat this movement until the batter is homogeneous. Don't overdo it. Transfer the batter to the pan immediately. Shake it, tap it off a couple of times to get rid of the big bubbles, and draw a few circles with a toothpick to fatten the surface. Place it in the preheated oven and bake at 300 degrees for 50 minutes. Personally, I prefer to bake it at 300 degrees for 40 minutes, then increase the temperature to 320 degrees for 5 minutes. This is after a few testings with my oven as oven temperature varies. If I just bake it at 300 degrees for 50 minutes, even though it's perfectly baked, the top of the cake will be a bit sticky after it's cool. So if you have the same problem, you can do the same switch. Once it's out of the oven, tap it off the table once, then cool it upside down. It will take 2 to 3 hours to cool completely. While waiting for the cake to cool, dissolve 1 tablespoon of instant coffee with half a tablespoon of hot water. We are going to use these for the coffee cream later. This must be cool when added to the cream, so it's a good idea to make this ahead of time. Leave it on the counter to cool or place it in the fridge. Now that the cake is cool, remove it from the pan carefully, then slice it into 3 layers. Remember to flatten the top as well. Let's make the coffee whipped cream frosting. First, whip the mascarpone cheese and powdered sugar to lighten the cheese texture. Mascarpone cheese has a lighter flavor compared to cream cheese. It helps stabilize the whipped cream so it's able to hold its shape on cakes longer. Now add the heavy cream and coffee. Whip on high speed until it thickens. This is good. Let's start decorating. Apply a little bit of cream at the bottom to secure the cake to the cake board. Apply a layer of whipped cream frosting. Repeat these steps. The top layer is usually the bottom of the cake. This is because it's usually the flattest part and will be easier to frost. Cover the entire cake with the coffee cream. Smooth out the cream the best you can. Next, place a sheet of cake stencil on top, then dust it with cocoa powder. Put this in the fridge to chill while we prepare the chocolate lace. For the chocolate lace, I'm using this chocolate wafer because it's easier to handle. You can also use the regular chocolate or chocolate chips. Melt it in the microwave for about a minute. Prepare a piece of plastic sheet or parchment paper that is long enough to wrap the cake and the same height as the cake. Place another piece of paper under this. If you don't mind cleaning your countertop after this, you don't have to use the extra paper underneath. Secure this on the counter. Pour the melted chocolate on this, then spread it out evenly with a spatula. This stencil sheet is not long enough, so I have to do this twice. If the chocolate is smeared a little bit, clean up with any tool you have available. Leave this on the counter for just a few minutes. Just to let it cool slightly, not to wait until it's already hardened. Take the cake out from the fridge and immediately wrap the lace around it. Make sure it's touching the cake and put it back in the fridge immediately to cool. The melted chocolate wafer will cool and harden very quickly in the fridge. Once it's hardened, you can then remove the sheet carefully. When making chocolate lace with a specific design on it, sometimes it's not going to be perfect, especially the part where both ends of the sheet meet. If you don't have any cake stencil, for the top cocoa powder dusting, you can use a wire rack. Place it just slightly above the cake with the help of any cups or books or anything you can find where the height is just slightly taller than the cake. As for the lace around the cake, you can do a free-form design as I demonstrated in my previous coffee cake. I'll provide the link in the description below. For the finishing touch, I'm going to pipe some cream on top and place some coffee chocolate on it. And this is now completed. Thanks so much for watching.